Oh, there it is. There's Craig.
It's Craig.
Great. Cool. Well, welcome to the JJJTrailMix show.
Yeah, we're all nuts down here, boys.
Welcome so very much, everybody, to this. This is exciting. This is our first episode, first official episode. Yeah. So we wanted to take this time to really just introduce ourselves. I mean, if y'all follow us on TikTok, y'all can see just a brief intro video of us. So far, it's just it's me and JT, but Jackie's working on that. He'll be on there shortly.
That's okay.
That's all right. No pressure.
No pressure.
It's out for the world now. It's on.
Oh no. Yeah. So we wanted to take this episode just to explain where we're coming from, where we are, and where we're going. So,
Cool.
yeah. So, who would like to start?
I'll go first.
Okay, JT, go ahead.
You know what they always say, don't volunteer for anything, but I just volunteered myself. So here
You're in
we
the
go.
army.
You're the army, so that speaks enough.
Yeah, that's really different. But anyways, like you said, my name is JT. I was born and raised in the great state of South Carolina. I still live there now with my wife Faith. We're just kind of hanging out, doing our thing. I met these two guys through North Greenville University. I went to school together. I graduated from there with a bachelor's in outdoor education, and that's kind of what's driving my part of this show. Is I want to talk about enjoying nature and doing so safely and preserving the natural outdoors and that kind of stuff. And then another thing, I have my nerd mentor here, Mr. Drayton. Taught me everything I know about nerdy things, comics and movies and games and all this stuff. And so that's kind of what drug us really together. And we kind of drug Dracky along, kicking and screaming as well. But so that's part of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. And I'll let one of the other guys go, and then we can keep talking after that.
I'll go next. So yeah, I'm Drayton, of course. But yeah, so I was born in Greenville, South Carolina. But when I was 7, my family and I went overseas to do mission work in East Africa. So I spent 9 months in Kenya for language training for me and my family. That's where my parents learned Swahili. Then we got assigned to Tanzania. We were there for 3 years. And then we came back to the States for 1.5 years because we were switching organizations. I'm very much summarizing at this point, but we found someone to go back over with. Yeah, there you go. They wanted someone on the ground in Uganda to host short-term teams to bounce them from coming into Africa, into Uganda, bounce them up to South Sudan, because that was our main focus of the mission work that we were doing. So, yeah, we were there for 7.5 years. And then during that time, the last 3 years, I was going to boarding school in Kenya, to Rift Valley Academy. And yeah, once I graduated, I left with my family to come back to the States for college, and I went to North Greenville University. So that's where I met these two wonderful guys. Yep. We all kind of spent a majority of our time in Unit F. So our Unit F boys, where y'all at? So yeah,
We're here.
We're
We are.
present.
Freezing.
So yeah, and our friendship flourished, and these guys are the best buds I can find around. So yeah, I appreciate it. But anyway, so yeah, and I'll stop there with our merging.
Yeah, I was gonna say it gets kind of complicated after that one.
So I guess it's my turn.
Yes.
So I'm Jackie. I'm Jackie Sam, and I started my nickname Jackie actually started in Unit F, and that was because there was 3 Sams in that group or in that dorm,
So
and my roommate was Samuel, whatever, and then there was one guy who had already been there whose name was Sam, and I was the other Samuel, of course. So I inherited the name Jackie, or didn't inherit, I came up with it. But there was one guy calling um, my roommate Uncle Sam because he was American, and so I was like, oh, I'll be Jackie Sam because it's like Jackie Chan, and then it just got shortened from Jackie Sam to Jackie. But I am the yellow M&Ms in this trail mix, specifically the yellow M&Ms.
yes, he
Yeah.
is.
And I am the one in the group who brings the music realm. I mean, Drayton has music as well, but my focus is more music than it would be movies and things like that. So I bring in songwriting and maybe not necessarily like the instrument part of music, but just the overall concept of music. But I also like to rhyme things, and I like to think of funny things that will work in a poem or a song. But I also bring nerdy stuff to the table,
Yes,
or geeky stuff and nerdy stuff,
all of it.
because I was also a geek in high school. It was more for Doctor Who, but I do like Marvel and DC. But I didn't read the comics that much. But I'm more my more favorite ones are more like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
Had a
Um,
boy.
yeah, yeah. But also in the nerdy part, I like math, and I think in math, as in I organize things in my head and group them and process them in a way that's most similar to math. But I also like things in the literature realm and the psychology realm, that's more Drayton's department mainly. But
Cool.
yeah.
So, what's your geographical story? Do you want
Oh,
to share
right,
that as well?
right. I was born in Kazakhstan. My parents adopted me. We went we came back to America until I was like 4 years old. Then we went back to Kazakhstan because that's where my dad's job. That was one of the places my dad's job could be, and so we decided to choose that one because they were like, "Oh, it'd be cool if he grew up where he was from." And so I lived there until I graduated high school, and then I came to South Carolina where I met these two guys, and I mean, that was a really big overview, but
All right.
yeah. I mean, I was basically in the same place for the majority of those years, so I didn't move around as much.
That's fair.
There you go. Cool. Well, thanks for the segue, Jackie. So, you explaining like all your fields that you bring to the table and stuff like that. Also, sorry, side note, I had an epiphany. If you want to, you need Jackie to do your intro video as a rap.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I was thinking about that, but
absolutely.
I was like, will that be more trouble than it's worth, depending on
Nope.
how I do it? But I was thinking, yeah, I should.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it.
That would
Mhm.
be awesome. I mean, again, like if you try and try and try and it doesn't come together, that's totally fine. I just thought that would be totally you, and that's like
Mhm.
perfect.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
I'll do it now. Now that you said it, I was juggling it in my head, but now that you've said it, I'll do it.
I'm already imagining what it's gonna look like and sound like in my head, and it's amazing. So there you go.
Could you tell
Cool.
me what it looks like and sounds like in your head?
Okay, okay.
Oh
Oh goodness. I don't want to give you my light bulb. You get your own light
yeah,
bulb.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is
You
a
get
better
your
way
own.
to do it. Yeah.
No piggybacking.
Exactly. Cool. So then yeah, so from what I bring to the table, topics wise, passion wise, um I am a huge comics and superhero fan. Um I am not as deep dive as like I've read a lot of the comic books. I've read a decent amount of comic books, enough that I'm educated, but not down in the deep depths as some people who've grown up with the comics have. But yeah, as JT mentioned, that I'm kind of the one that roped him into it. So he was my Padawan.
He corrupted me.
Yeah, exactly. Then he kind of went on his own route. And it was, I can revel about all the proud moments of being a nerd father to him. And it was wonderful.
It was a wonderful journey.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, I'm a huge comic superhero fan. So I love talking about the comics. I love talking about the TV shows, movies, all that kind of stuff. It's great. And branching into that or connecting with that, I'm also a huge movie buff in general. I'm still on my journey to catching up with the times of getting all those classics watched and everything. I'm pretty much, I'd say like 90%, of all of the classics I've watched, probably 90% of the what the General Assembly deems as classic movies, I've probably watched about 90% of them. So there's still a handful that I haven't watched yet. And if I haven't seen it, I've read about it and I've heard about it. So I'm just, it's in there. Yeah. And I love talking about movies, about how they contribute to society, how they've affected culture, and how they've just become, such a big part of our lives. I also, my undergrad degree is in interdisciplinary studies with psychology and linguistics. So I am a big fan of general psychology. I don't have a particular niche other than maybe personality. I like talking about and studying that. And then linguistic side is more so. I love languages. I love learning them. I love studying them. I love looking at them, listening to them, all that kind of stuff. So that will be a good chunk of our topics as well. And then what else? Yeah, I'm a music person. Music is more of a hobby for me, as opposed to like the passion and almost side vocation of Jackie. So as Jackie said, he'll bring in more of that kind of stuff on a deeper level than what I will. But I appreciate and I partake in music and playing music and stuff like that. So, and talking about music. What else is there? I think that's all. I can't think of anything else really. But yeah,
Renaissance man.
I am a kind of a Renaissance man. I like to do a lot of things. I never like to be closed-minded about anything. I don't want to be ignorant or innocent about things. So I like to know everything.
Which is kind of one of the reasons for y'all listening. One of the reasons we started doing this is, the idea is for us to share our collective limited knowledge about things that we have, and to give us an opportunity to dive into things and study things and talk about stuff and just kind of enjoy a general, I don't know, knowledge trip. Sound not like a drug trip.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Not only are these two guys my bestest friends, but also they are the ones that I've had the best conversations with and that I think so similarly to. So on different levels, not in the same way. So that makes it even more interesting. So and so that just kind of inspired us to really put this thing forward. So, but that's what I'm bringing to the table right now. I'm currently pursuing my master's in applied linguistics in Georgia. I live in Georgia with my wife Joy, and so that's currently where I am right now. But we'll see what happens.
Beautiful.
All right, JT.
I told you should write a book. Do what?
What's your expertise?
I guess
people.
Probably brag on myself a little bit. I'm standing over here with the intellectual giants, and I'm just your humble outdoorsman who likes to play in the woods.
Christopher Robin.
No, but
it's literally like we're all the people that are out alone with each other in the woods, and Jackie's there because he wants inspiration for music. Me is for philosophical ponderings, and then for JT is just because of nature.
Just because of nature, and to keep you two guys alive.
Exactly.
Yeah, me and Drayton would be debating on what the best thing to do would be, and
would just be
JT
getting
would
it
be the
done.
one doing it. Yeah.
Exactly.
He's our Bear Grylls. He's our native Bear Grylls.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
So
you probably know better than us anyway.
Well, I mean, it's not like I spent 4 years studying it or nothing. You know,
Exactly.
little bit of that. But so yeah, so I'm an outdoor enthusiast. I like to be outside. I like to camp and climb and hike and whitewater raft and canoeing and all that fun outdoor stuff. And like I think Jackie might have mentioned it. I am currently serving in the military and enjoying that. I provide HR support for an air defense artillery unit. So
Classified information.
Yeah, there's some classified things, HIPAA rules. I can't tell you about people's blood types and financial situation and that kind of stuff, but that's kind of normal. So I'm enjoying that. I mean, other than that, kind of like Drayton said, he is my nerd father, so he took me on
That's
a journey.
a good way to put it.
Yeah, it really is. It kind of fits because when me and him first met, we were, let's see, was it freshman or sophomore year? I can't remember which year it was. I think it was freshman year.
Freshman year.
It was when I was dating Elizabeth and you were dating Abigail, right?
Yes.
And so our two girlfriends were friends, and then so we became friends through them, and then we broke up with them, and then we stayed friends.
You started dating, you mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we
left our girlfriends for each other.
Yeah, that's pretty much how that went. And so I don't even remember. Somewhere along those lines, you took me to a movie. I can't remember. I don't remember. It was like
you took me to the movie.
Okay, here's how it went down.
Yeah, you need to tell the story better than I do.
So I remember, what was it? We were in the stud, so in the student hangout area.
North Greenville, yeah.
Yes, and so we were in one of the booths with our girlfriends, and so they went off and did something. They had to go back and do something. I don't know. They were doing something, so we were just there at the table with each other. We literally spent the entire evening and night, not the whole night, but like into the late evening.
Yeah.
Once they had left, honestly, it was like a little bit of conversation here and then. Then I was like, "So, do you like comic books or superheroes?" And then JT was like, "Well, I've only seen a few here and there and whatnot." And I'm like, "Okay, well,
let me take you on a journey."
Yeah.
And what a journey it has been.
Honestly, though, goodness gracious.
You kind of created a little monster. My wife still makes fun of me for that.
Yep.
But it has been wonderful. It's been a good time. But so that's what I guess back to bragging on myself. That's kind of where I come from. I bring to the table a love of shorter than these guys, but still a love and appreciation for comics and movies and nerdy geeky things. Definitely an appreciation for the outdoors. And then I do share some of their I guess interest in psychology and some of that kind of stuff. So we'll be talking about some political things and some religious things. We all share a similar religious background. Kind of different experiences, but same faith. So it'll be interesting. We'll cover some topics and go over some things just to kind of see different points of views and that kind of stuff. Oh yeah. So it'll be good. So basically, like they were saying, to sum it up, you got the two smart people, then you got the guy with the common sense.
Yeah. Book smart and street smart.
Oh yeah.
And how it goes.
Nice. Well, cool. So to segue, and speaking of segue, actually, I recently discovered that there are two different words that are pronounced segue, but they mean two different things. I always thought that they were connected.
The rolling thing.
Yeah, because because there's segue, which is SEGUE, and that it means to transition into something, right?
Mhm.
And then there's the SEGWAY Segway, which is the
little machine.
handlebar 2-wheel things that you lean and drive around in. So I always thought that they were the same thing, the same word. Like I thought it was the WAY version for forever until like probably 2 days ago, and then I realized that there was actually another word for the more abstract.
Nice.
That was
Cool.
interesting. Anyways, sorry. There you go. There's the linguistic stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say word fact of the day.
Exactly. But anyways, we wanted to come and try and talk about like what we want planning going forward of what this show, this podcast is going to be formatted in. And this is, I mean, we don't want to try and be boring to you guys or anything, but we want to just let you know so that you can know what to follow and when to follow and stuff like that. So our plan right now is to, and y'all guys correct me if I'm wrong. Our plan right now is to try and focus on like maybe twice a month, right? Some of the deeper, more like bigger topics. The heavy hitters is what I'll probably be referring to them to as. And so yeah, we'll be uploading those as about probably around twice a month. That's what we'll aim for. All the ones in between, we're gonna just do. Those are the fun ones. Not to say that the heavy hitters aren't fun, but like these are the more like relaxed ones. So these will be like just shooting the breeze, or answering questions that y'all want to put forward to us, or doing reviews on music or on movies, TV shows, all that kind of stuff. So we'll do all kinds of things like that. And
Oh yeah, get ready for a lot of bad puns.
Mm-hmm. A lot of bad puns.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All three of us, we all share the same terrible sense of humor.
Yep, exactly. And now y'all are
gonna like start the podcast off. Yeah, our jokes are terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
They're wonderful.
They're wonderful.
They are
wonderful.
It's so nice.
We're hilarious, you know. So as long as the three of us think we're funny,
exactly.
Everyone else will laugh with us or at us, and that's okay too.
Or
yeah, it's about self-confidence.
Yeah.
Exactly. If we lead confidently, people will follow. And that's kind of touching on a subject that I want to try and bring in with one of the heavy hitters, but we'll discuss that at another point.
Not for tonight.
Yeah, not for tonight. Not tonight. Well, yeah. So that anything else I want to add or anything? I mean, we'll probably just kind of shoot the breeze for the rest of the time that we have.
Yeah, probably. You know, I just want to say, thanks for you two guys being on this. Thanks for those of us those of you that are listening and going to support us through this journey. And I, for one, am very excited because, well, it's gonna be fun. I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought there, so that's what I'm going with.
Nice. Cool. What was I gonna say? Goodness gracious.
It's going around. It's like a virus, man.
I know, man. And just be real, all of us. Good.
I really shouldn't joke about that coming out of this 2020. But that's besides the point.
This is great. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'll just make sure to look for YouTube for this episode. Well, the listeners will probably already have found this episode. For more episodes, follow our YouTube channel, comment, subscribe, and following the usual script of YouTubers. And yeah, follow our TikTok, Instagram, for lots of different things. But anyways, so moving on. Have y'all been to Metropolis, Illinois?
That was a weird segue, but no, I have not.
I don't think I have.
Well, this is obviously is where I got this shirt from. But they have a Superman place there in Metropolis, Illinois. It is the official home of Superman, like in real life.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so it was when we were picking up Joy from Kansas City and we were coming back. We hit it, and so yeah, it's a little small town, very, very, very small town. So it's named Metropolis, but it's more like Smallville.
Oh,
wow.
It's nice. But they have like a huge, like 20-foot tall Superman statue there, and it's so cool.
That's pretty cool.
And then they have like a little mini like Superman museum where they've collected all this memorabilia of Superman all throughout the history of the character. It's really cool. We didn't get to go into the museum, but we went into the first part, which is just like a store. They have a lot of other Superman memorabilia there, like action figures, posters, artwork, other things like that. And it's just all there for you to purchase and stuff like that. So it was nice.
Wow.
But that's where they got the T-shirts here. So if y'all follow my Instagram at African Reigns, y'all can see I posted a picture of like me and Joy because Joy got a pink one.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
Y'all are adorable.
Yeah, that was awesome because we saw it going over to Kansas City because we were driving, and I was like, "Ooh, we need to stop there on our way back. That would be awesome." It was definitely a me thing. I was like, "We need to do this for me." I need to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Enjoy being the loving, supportive wife that she is. Let you do it.
Exactly. But she loves Supergirl, so she was excited too. There was some
that's
Supergirl
good
stuff.
Yeah, that's a good trade-off. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Respect.
Respect.
Cool. Well, JT, have you found any like cool places in where you are? I don't know if I'm supposed to say where you are or anything.
Yeah, it's totally top secret. I'm just kidding. No, I'm me being in DC at the moment that's not a big deal.
He's in DC Comics.
Yes,
Is what he means.
Ooh, there you
very
go.
good. One of the cool things I did get to do. Like the National Mall has all the war memorials and monuments and stuff. And so my granddad, he did 26 years active Army and retired out as a colonel and stuff. And so he was in Vietnam and all that kind of stuff. And so the Vietnam Wall Memorial that's here, he actually has some people that he knows or knew on the wall. And so I got to go find those people on the wall, and it was kind of a powerful moment. Because the last time I was up here and was able to see the wall, I wasn't in the service yet, and so here being on this side of being in is kind of a different experience, all around.
Dang, that's crazy.
So that was kind of interesting. Yeah, one of the guys, he's so my granddad. Let's see what he say. He said one of them. So I found two of them, and one of them, he said that he was in a helicopter flying over the battle that the one guy was killed in, and the other guy, he was actually in the hospital with him a few days before he passed from his injuries or whatever it was that happened to him. So kind of sorry, I didn't mean to like bring the mood down there. That was kind of depressing.
That's good. Dang.
But I guess a transition to that, one of the cool things that I have seen that's more on the lighthearted side of things is the Bible Museum that's up here. Dude, so cool. So cool. It opened, when did it open? It opened in like 2018, so it's like brand new, more or less. And they've got, Dead Sea Scrolls in it. They've got, random, I'm sorry, not random, like translations through the histories. Different translations of like they've got the King James Wicked Bible, the one that tells you to go commit adultery. So like stuff like that, they've got this really cool like 4D Old Testament experience.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. You like you enter in and you sit down and they play some like like a movie, and then you like walk through. It's like you walk through this tunnel and it's got all the different statues and whatever makeup of different things. It walks you through from like creation all the way to somewhere in the middle. It was one of those prophets. I can't remember. I think it was Ezekiel. Stopped with Ezekiel.
Nice.
But it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty
Sounds
neat
like
experience.
Dang, son.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was really cool. Very neat experience. If you haven't gone, go.
Well, I mean, we're still going to try and plan our trip to go up to see you.
Oh yeah, come on up.
Speaking of, I was surprised to see Linnea's post of like with them coming up to see you, like her and Hannah and Micah, Nathan and Micah. So was Nathan on, like, was it a work thing as well as visiting you, or no?
Nope. No,
Okay.
they just came up.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. So I mean, they were trying to plan some kind of like group vacation anyway. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in DC for a little while. Why don't y'all come up here? Because it's a cool place. And so they did.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. Cool. Did they drive up to see you?
Yeah, they all drove up. So like,
from where is the question?
from where?
Yeah. How long was their drive?
So Linnea's in Ohio somewhere, so that was like an 8-hour drive.
Oof.
And then the other 3 came from well, Nathan's down in South Carolina, so it took him
Oh
like
my goodness.
what?
That's
okay?
a long drive.
Yeah, it was like I think it was about 8.5, and then the other 2 came from North Carolina, so that was like 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
So, long drives.
Those aren't terrible numbers, but
No,
it is a whole day.
It does take up a whole day.
Nothing will compare, at least for a long time, when I drove up to Michigan from North Greenville.
Woo!
That was insane.
My goodness.
I literally drove. I left at 5 a.m, and it was like a 12.5-hour drive.
Ugh.
So it was interesting. I stopped in pretty much every state that I went through to get gas and stuff like that. And
Did you do it by yourself?
yeah, I did it by myself.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane. I listened to a lot of music.
I bet so.
Yeah, for some reason it was before I got into podcasts, so it would have been perfect time to listen to podcasts.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I would be listening to TrailMix. Anyways, so
shameless plug for our own selves.
I know, right? But I drove up there. Oh my gosh, it was crazy because it was interesting, all the stuff that I saw on that trip. Going through Kentucky. Kentucky has the weirdest names for places. Not necessarily weird as in like they're unusual, but they're like city names of other cities around the world. So there's a Paris, Kentucky.
Yeah, there's so many things like that.
And there's a London, Kentucky as well. That was interesting. So you're now passing Paris.
Wow.
Voila. But anyways, it was crazy. Yeah. But I went through there, and then once I had gone around Indianapolis, right, I got on this Highway 31, which goes directly north, right up into Michigan. And that is the straightest, flattest road I've ever been on in my life. That road was boring. Oh my gosh. Because it was just fields after fields after fields after field, like farmland, right? The only little change in the road, direction stuff when I went through Kokomo, was it just went yoink. It just went right around Kokomo. Yep.
Oh, wow.
It was just completely straight. And then I noticed that I was approaching the state line between Indiana and Michigan, and I looked forward, like past there at where the line I think was, and there was a wall of storm clouds.
Oh my goodness.
Around where I was at that moment, it was clear and sunny, but ahead of me was like I was entering Hades, and it was insane.
That's
So,
awesome.
and it was like I passed I heard from my friend who lives in Michigan that the roads are horrible in Michigan, that they're just so bad. And I was like, well, South Carolina's got, South Carolina's up there too, but when I crossed the state line, I was just like, oh, this isn't bad. And then it just went all rough roads. And then after that, the wind picked up and the clouds went over and it was, dim. Then snow started falling. And it was just like,
welcome to Michigan.
Yeah, welcome to Michigan. Goodness gracious. I went up, on that trip I went up to Holland, Michigan, which is where my friend Austin Slater, shout out to Austin if you're listening. Visited him and his at that time fiance, and then which is now his wife.
I was going to say, is that like a really dark story, or is that a good happy ending?
No, it's a good happy ending. They're awesome. They're great. They're so good together. They have an intense story, man. I want to try and bring him on this show so he can just tell us about that. I mean, the rest of his life is just as crazy and interesting, but I mean, just what he and her have been going through, the trials that they've had to overcome recently in the past 2 years has been insane. It's crazy. But anyways, yeah, I went over there. We visited his grandparents' places where he was staying in Holland. Then we went over to Spring Arbor, Michigan, Spring Arbor University. And that's where he was going to school. I stayed in his dorm room, visited a few of his friends, got to see another RVA person, because since Austin was from RVA, so another RVA person who was there. Then went over to, what's the place? Dagnabbit. What's that place called? Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Grand Rapids, yeah.
That was where my at that time girlfriend was, Sarah Hope. And then visited her and stayed with her and her grandparents for a little while. Then her and I drove back down. And that was before, because that was for fall break, I think. Yeah, it was for fall break. So we came back down before school started back. So that was a crazy trip, man. That was all.
Yeah, it sounds
sorry
like
for the longness, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's gonna make up a good chunk of our podcast, though, is story time with us, because
that's it.
Between the three of us, I feel like we've got some pretty interesting stories that we can tell.
There's gonna be a whole mini series about story times with me and my times at RVA and all the things that happened there.
You've got enough content from your RVA years to fill a year's worth of podcasts.
Bro, it's insane. There's so many memories that are just craziness. Oh, speaking of, I need to tell you all this. I don't know if I told you about this. So I had to do, my final projects for school I did summer classes this summer.
Right.
So for one of them, for historical linguistics, one of my classes there, we wanted to do a project of something of language change over time, because that's mainly what historical linguists study, right? So I was inspired by this one study that was done in this place called Martha's Vineyard, which is an island off the coast of somewhere north U.S.
Okay.
But they, if someone studied just the evolution of the accent there on that island in a semi-isolated system, right? So I got inspired by that to do something for RVA. because I knew RVA had a lingo of its own and terms and phrases they use that's just there. It's not used anywhere else. So I did a whole study. So I built a survey, sent it out to the alumni page on Facebook that I'm a part of, and sent it out generally on Facebook. And I got like 50 responses at least. And it was like, from the data that I got someone who I asked what year they graduated, right? And I got someone from 1969 who graduated in 1969 to a current graduate like last year.
Wow.
Dang,
All in between. It was
that's
insane.
pretty nice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So it was a good data coverage. So I got a good history of the phrases and everything because I left a space for them to put stuff in and everything. It was awesome. So I'm really debating on whether to go forward with it and get more data and then, build it and maybe even publish this as like an actual legit study. It would be awesome.
That would
Yeah.
I really enjoyed writing that paper. That was amazing. But anyways, that was a random
Gimmick.
there. Jackie,
Mhm.
have you had anything interesting going on?
I've literally just been working this past week, staring at my screen. But
Beautiful.
yeah, I have to get my Ethernet cord upstairs, so I'm gonna have to eventually drill a hole in my floor. I guess that's kind of interesting.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but I started my new job. We're like a call center thingy. So I've been helping people in Vermont. That's the what is it? They call it a campaign, but it's really misleading if you don't know what a campaign is. It's like a company that has hired us out to take their calls, and so that's the company that I'm helping with. Because they were saying campaigns, like when they were describing it, I'm like, is this like a political campaign or like a campaign like? Because I always think of the video game campaign, like the story mode, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's the other thing I bring to the table is video games. I forgot about that.
There you go.
Shoot, I was thinking war campaign, like they were about
Yeah.
to conquer Vermont.
Yeah, and so I was like, campaigns. This word doesn't really work that as well, but unless I guess you use it on a day-to-day basis, and it works, whatever. But I don't know. Anyway, that has been interesting, and I've learned a lot about how call centers work. So whenever I have somebody from a call center call me, like I understand now why it seems like they can't actually do anything, because all they have is a script to follow, and they can only look at stuff. There's only a few things they can actually change, and so I was remembering the last time I had a call center call me, I was getting pretty mad at them. Like you're literally not able to do anything for me, but now I understand it. I'm like, I'm sorry. I wish I could take it back. But yeah, that's as interesting as my week has been.
Sometimes
pretty-
it's,
Oh, I
sometimes
watched
it's
Black
grind.
Widow yesterday.
Oh
Or the day before
boy,
We're
yesterday.
gonna have to do a whole episode on that.
Mhm.
bro, that's what we need to do.
Have you guys
Dang,
seen
man,
it yet?
Yeah.
that was a
Mhm.
movie. That was
Good
awesome.
movie.
It was good.
There was
Yeah, I
the end
do.
credit scene. Okay, spoilers a little bit,
Spoilers a
I
little
guess.
bit, yeah.
But like there was a okay, it's not really a spoiler. It's just there was the end credit scene. And I saw there was this huge twist at the end, and I watched it. And I was expecting something really big. Then I watched it. I was like, "What? Why is this a big twist?" Like I was so hyped up for something
Yeah.
else, and then it was that, and I was like, "Really? Okay. I guess that's a okay. That's a kind of a twist, but it's not as big as I was thinking."
Exactly.
There well, the thing is that the big tease of that end credit scene, do you know what the big tease of that one was? Like the significance of that?
Well,
Cool.
was it the did it also have to do with the Falcon and Winter Soldier? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. The Black Widow was supposed to come out before any of the shows.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out before it's supposed to kick off phase 4 for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it just
So yeah.
didn't.
Okay.
But yeah, that lady Valentina, I think that's her name. She is in the comics. She's known as Madam Hydra.
Yep.
So
And
spoilers.
so yeah, spoilers. But so she's the same. She's the one that recruited John Walker at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. And now
Spoilers.
she's recruited. Yeah, spoilers. She's spoilers.
Yeah, you imagine at this point, man, it just.
I know. Yeah, at this point, yeah. She now recruited Yelena, but she's gonna recruit her to take down Clint Hawkeye, and so she'll appear in a Hawkeye
she's
series.
making her own Avengers team.
Yes.
Yes.
They're thinking that it's going to be something like the Thunderbolts or something, or the Dark Avengers or something
Dark
like that.
Avengers, yeah.
There's rumors that since we've seen in the trailer for Shang-Chi that we've seen Abomination in the trailers, that she's going to recruit him.
Oh yeah.
For the team as well, which I don't know. Well, we'll see. But that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Anyways, also news for nerd stuff and superhero stuff. They have confirmed that the Hawkeye Disney Plus series and Miss Marvel Disney Plus series will release before the year's end.
Oh, good.
So we'll get those before.
What's Miss Marvel?
Miss Marvel. Okay, here we go. So Miss Marvel she's a newer hero. She's part of the next gen Marvel hero stuff.
It's not has nothing to do with Captain Marvel.
Well, kind of actually. So so Captain Marvel in the comics originally was the guy Marvel, right? It was a dude, which they turned into a lady in the movie. But anyways, so he was originally a guy. He was full Kree, and he came to Earth and did his whole thing as a superhero. Then he became the superhero Quasar, I think, something like that. Then he passed the mantle of Captain Marvel on to Carol Danvers. Gosh dang, man. See, like Kara Danvers is Supergirl. Carol Danvers is
what the heck?
Captain Marvel. There's those similarities
Oh
thing.
my goodness.
Yep. So anyways, Carol Danvers, yes. But before she became Captain Marvel, she was a superhero called Miss Marvel, which So and she was you'll see her costume. It was like it kind of looks like a one-piece bathing suit, black with a yellow kind of wavy S across the whole thing. So that was her outfit. It was Miss Marvel. So to redo that in the next gen Marvel comics, they wrote it in as, she's been Captain Marvel this whole time, and so there's this one young girl, Kamala Khan, who finds out that she's an Inhuman. So she's an Inhuman who can enlarge any part of her body, kind of like Mr. Fantastic, but and a little bit more restricted. Not as elastic as Mr. Fantastic. Hey, that rhymed.
Yeah, I was like,
ooh, bars. Anyways, so so she has that power and whatnot. So and she grew up before finding out her powers. She was the #1 fan of Captain Marvel. She was inspired by her and stuff like that. So when she found out she had powers, she decided to, create a superhero out of herself, and she named herself Miss Marvel after Captain Marvel's previous identity. So she's kind of like the newer Miss Marvel kind of thing.
Cool.
She was like the first. She was the first she was the first Pakistani hero in comics. First Islamic hero. First the uniqueness of her storyline is that she grew up being she was a nerd herself about the Avengers and everything, and so she knew all their villains and all their battles and all of them. So she was a fangirl in the universe. So it was a unique storyline for that. If you watch the cutscene movie of the Avengers video game that came out, it's all from her perspective and that kind of thing. It kind of revolves around that, and it's really cool. Anyways, So that's Miss Marvel. That's the new one that they're going for in her own Disney Plus show. And then she's confirmed to appear in Captain Marvel 2 in the movie. In that movie. So yeah, because they renamed Captain Marvel 2 as The Marvels. So it'll be Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and then you watched WandaVision, right, Jackie?
I did. I haven't seen Loki. That's the only one I haven't seen yet.
Okay, cool. So in WandaVision, Monica Rambeau,
Yep.
at the end, she gets powers by going through the veil. She becomes the hero as known as like Spectrum or
The
Photon,
internet company.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. She has the ultimate power of Wi-Fi.
Oh yes.
Always connected.
Yeah, she's known as Spectrum or Photon, but she has kind of similar powers to Captain Marvel. So she's going to appear in that movie too. So it'll be like all three of those ladies. So that'd be nice.
Good stuff.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. Anyways, that's my nerd rant for the time being. Anyways. Cool. Well, I think y'all have anything else y'all want to talk about, or you want to wrap it up?
I was going to suggest, kind of wrapping it up here at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you all for listening. This is great. It's a great kickoff. I'm excited. It's
wonderful.
Gonna be good, man.
Yeah, looking forward to continuing this journey with everyone. So it's gonna be a good time.
Again, make sure to follow us on YouTube, subscribe, comment, whatever, and follow us on TikTok, on Instagram. We'll be posting those soon. And yeah, well, thank you guys. We'll see you sometime.
All right.
Peace out.
See you later.
Deuces, gooses.